Hello and greetings. This is a video response to Jonathan Rumi, I believe your name is. Bear with me a minute. What's your take on the biblical passage that clearly says that we're not to judge by appearance, rather by righteous judgment alone? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, if a woman or a man were to dress immodestly, just for attention, and we weren't to say anything, wouldn't that be turning a blind eye to degenerative behaviour? Food for thought. I'm asking you because I believe, even though the biblical scripture says that we are to judge righteous judgment rather than by appearance even, I believe that that isn't entirely true. Let's say, for example, if you have any children, your biological offspring chose to go out one night, early hours, and they dressed immodestly, and you so happen to lock eyes onto their appearance, are you going to let said children out on the streets dressed immodestly that could potentially cause harm and lead them to only God knows what degeneracy of this world? Or are you actually going to use the scripture passage that says not to judge by appearance rather than righteous judgment alone in other words, are you going to put it in action and actually tell said children to dress more modestly? So in other words, if they were about to leave and you told them they're not going anywhere until they actually dressed morally, what is your take on going against said scripture passage in regards to protect said children? Because, as God is my witness, if I had any biological offspring of my own later on down the line, and they chose to dress immodestly, I would tell them straight to actually, in fact, stop what they were doing in order to dress more modestly before they actually, in fact, went anywhere. Now, would this make me an enemy in God's eyes by going against said passage of the gospel? Or would it actually, in fact, make me a tough, loving father? Because in today's society, I see so many people that cherry pick the gospel, that it's not even remotely funny. They cherry pick the gospel to suit their own agendas, their own creative arts, along with ideas, and only God knows what else. And this is why, a lot of the time, I actually carry wrath and frustration. There's a little bit of joy there, genuine happiness and all of these things, but it's mostly wrath and frustration, because I live in a completely different world to what the biblical world actually promised onto not only myself, but those that are currently seeking it too, might I add. So, there we have it. What's your take? Please be sure to get in touch, as it'd be wonderful to catch up and have this, conversation in person, directly, that is, indirectly. Because I think personally, if you're carrying the presence of the Lord and the heavenly kingdom for that matter. God would actually, in fact, turn a blind eye if you were to go against, say, particular biblical passages, if it meant protecting other people involved. And there we have it. What's that saying? In other words, even though you're going against biblical passages, you're doing it not off of one's own merit. Rather, you're doing it for his greater good.